What if I told you that weight loss isn't just about burning calories or cutting carbs? What if the real reason people struggle is because they're missing the entire system behind lasting results? I've spent over 40 years helping people lose weight, build strength, and change their lives. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 pillars that make all the difference. This isn't theory, it's what works in the real world. Let's dive in. So, the first thing I feel when embarking on your journey is to have a clear, specific goal. So, let's do a little drill setting exercise right now together. So, if you could wave a realistic magic wand and you could have your body, your health, your energy, any kind of way you want it to be, what would that be like for you? Ideally, dial it down to a specific body weight and a body fat percent. Now, once you have this, that we'll touch on this a little bit more later, but I'm going to go ahead and plant the seed with you now is to consider adding an affirmation slash prayer around your goals. And it goes like this. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least plug in your body weight and your body fat percent. I'll use myself as an example. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. That's my clear, specific goal. And the power of that affirmation slash prayer is that I'm saying it in the moment that I am happy and grateful right now that I am the goal that I'm working on. So you're putting yourself in a state of gratitude and you're feeling it right now. Then, once you have that, we're going to build your system around what's called the big 5 pillars or the 5 fundamentals. And it's training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. So let's look at training for a moment. When it comes to training, I feel like there are basically 2 main things to consider: adding in cardio and strength training. Imagine for a moment that we have a twin engine airplane, and one engine is, we're going to call it cardio, and one engine is strength. So if you're flying along in this airplane, you're going to want to have both engines going strong on the airplane. That's why I encourage you to have a cardiovascular training program going and a strength training program going. Now, how can you make up a good training program? I have 5 basic training principles that makes up a good training program: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Let's look at proper form first. What will be the benefits of doing proper form? Think about it for a minute. Well, one is so that you won't get hurt. An injury will really set you back. And 2 is so that we exercise the muscle effectively. You're going to get the most use out of your time. Most of us these days we feel like we're trying to get the most out of our time. Well, when you exercise with proper form, you're getting the most out of your time. You're getting the most out of your effort and energy in the gym. So that was proper form. The next thing is variety. Why couldn't we you do the same workout for a whole year? Why would we want to change it up occasionally? Well, have you ever heard of a plateau, right? That's where you're going along and then you get stuck at a certain level, right? Well, by adding in variety, you can break through those plateaus. And how can you add in variety? Changing the rep ranges, changing the exercises, changing the tempo, the speed of the movement, changing your rest intervals. Lots of ways to add variety. And then plus two, another benefit is so that you don't get bored. So I know a lot of people, they easily get bored. So if that's you, particularly adding variety is going to help with that. Then it's also going to keep you progressing along so that you don't get stuck in a plateau. Then the third principle of training is intensity. Now, what comes to mind when you think about exercising with intensity? What comes to mind? Challenging yourself, right? Pushing yourself. Well, imagine for a moment we're doing a pressing exercise and we're going for 12 repetitions. And we get to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we barely get that 12th one, but we got that 12th one. What will be the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? Will be the last few, right? That's where the overload occurs. That's where the breakdown occurs. So I encourage you to implement intensity into your training program. So the fourth component of a good training program is implementing proper training principles. Now, there's all kinds of different training principles: drop sets, supersets, circuit training, compound sets, rest pause training, 21s, up and down the rack. There's all kinds of training principles. So I encourage you to study them. Go on Google or ChatGPT and do a search for proper training principles or exercise training principles and implement them into your workout. So we talked about proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and then the last but not least is consistency. Now, what do you think about what would be the benefit of having consistency inside of your fitness training program? Well, it might be kind of obvious, but think about it for a moment. What if you have and say if you have a twin of you, and you're going for the same goal? You commit to a 4-day-a-week program, and you're doing it. You get your proper nutrition, you get your sleep. The other person starts off that way, but then misses a workout here and there, skips a meal here and there, doesn't always get the full amount of recovery here and there. Who is going to have the best results? The consistent person, right? So I encourage you to be consistent. Make a decision what kind of training program and nutrition program and recovery program you're going to do, and then execute. Be consistent. So that summarizes how to build up a good training program by having the 5 things: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Now let's take a look at nutrition. Imagine for a moment that we want to build a beautiful 2-story house from scratch. And imagine that we only have half the materials necessary to build the house. How far are we going to get? Part of the way, halfway, right? So the foods that you and I eat on a daily basis are the supplies that go to build our body, like supplies necessary to build a house. So what I recommend eating: approximately 50% of your intake, fruits and vegetables, 25% whole grains, and 25% plant-based proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds. It's a great place to start. Now, when it comes to eating, I feel like there are basically 4 different ways that food affects our bodies and our fitness goals. It affects us with our metabolism, our energy levels, our insulin levels, and our blood sugar levels. Now imagine for a moment that we have a fireplace and we want to have a fire going in the fireplace. On one hand, we have a stack of oak wood. On the other hand, we have a stack of paper. and not including, kindling and getting the fire started. But if we had to choose between the oak wood or the paper to burn in your fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Well, most of us will pick the oak wood, right? And why? Because it's going to burn longer, slower, more efficiently, right? The paper is going to burn fast and very inefficiently. So foods like oak wood are more like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds. And ones that are more like paper, like processed foods, simple sugars, alcohol, those kind of things. So just to summarize, our diet affects us in our metabolism, our energy levels, our insulin levels, and our blood sugar levels. Now let's take a look at the third pillar, recovery. When it comes to recovery, I feel like based on all the research that I have found, that most people need between 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and 2 hours of REM sleep, 2 hours of deep. Now, how can you strive to get that? Well, one thing is to have what one client of mine calls, he's a neuroradiologist, calls a sleep opportunity. Well, if you're going to get 8 hours of sleep, you got to at least be in the bed for 8 hours, right? And most of the time, most people wake up a little bit here and there. So what are your sleep opportunity hours? Have consistent go to sleep times, consistent wake up times. If you want to plug in an 8-hour time, go to bed at 9, wake up at 5. Go to bed at 10, wake up at 6. If you want 9-hour opportunity time, go to bed at 9, wake up at 6. Go to bed at 8, wake up at 5. Go to bed at 10, wake up at 7. I mean, it's just whatever works for you. But consider your sleep opportunity hours, because if you want to get 8 hours sleep and you're only in the bed for 7 hours, you're not going to get 8 hours of sleep. Other things you can do is meal timing. Consider having your last meal at least 2 hours before sleep time. What this does is it gives your body a chance to be done metabolizing food, because what that does is increase your heart rate. And then also too is we want to, as we get ready for sleep time, we want to lower our heart rate. Have a nice, cool, dark house, and ideally be consistent. I know not everybody's lifestyle calls, you can do that depending on what you do for a living and all that. But do your best to have the consistent times. Go to sleep time, go to wake up time. So we talked about proper training, nutrition, recovery. Now let's look at supplementation. That's the fourth pillar. So when it comes to supplementation, I feel like there are basically two basic categories of supplementation. We have nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. Nutritional supplementation is like a shake, a protein shake. I usually have 2 or 3 a day, have for 40 years. And then there are enhancement performance supplements like creatine. Sometimes I take it most of the time consistently. Occasionally I'll take a break. But that's one thing that is a strength enhancing supplement, creatine, right? Also too, I put in prescription medications in the supplements category, right? So you have nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. And then last but not least, the fifth pillar is the mindset. I want you to consider keeping in mind that your mind is in control of your body, not the other way around. If I decide to do a 4-day-a-week exercise program, 4 days a week of weights, 4 days a week of cardio, actually my program is 4 days a week of weights, 5 days a week of cardio. My weight sessions are about an hour. My cardio sessions are about a half an hour. So that's my routine. So, but my mindset, I say to my body, this is what we're doing. And I get it done. That's the mindset. Do I always feel like doing it when I first start? Not always. But that's the thing. It doesn't matter how we feel. It's what we do. There's discipline and there's motivation. The discipline is that I do it 4 days a week or 5 days a week consistently. That's the discipline. The motivation is whether I feel like doing it or not. Some days I feel like it, maybe some days I don't. Most days I do, but I know a lot of people struggle with motivation. But the thing is, what happens is, it doesn't matter if you're motivated or not. It just matters if you do it. And what I have seen is that the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the more you like it. But the mindset, you tell your body what to do. You tell your body, this is what we're doing now. You tell your body what time to go to bed. You tell your body what time to wake up. You tell your body how many times you're going to exercise. You tell your body how much you're going to eat nutrition. It's your mindset. That's going to guide your journey. So I encourage you to consider the power of your mindset. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of this video where we had you set your goals. That's part of mindset. Having a clear, specific fitness goal. Ideally, narrow it down to a specific body weight and body fat percent. And then wrap it up in this affirmation / prayer. I am happy and grateful now that I am. Plug in your body weight, body fat percent. I'll use myself as an example. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. And then you can go on and make more affirmations and prayers. That's just the beginning of the framework. If this message resonates with you, don't wait. Start now. Whether you've been stuck, frustrated, or overwhelmed, you're not alone. I've helped thousands of people just like you, and I'm here to help you too. Click this below to schedule your free consultation with me. Let's design a plan that actually works for you. You've got this. Let's go. Be blessed. And remember that health is wealth. And I'll be back.